Welcome, my friends, to another 8 ends. It's the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. This is your friendly, not at all disgruntled host, Ryan Olson, with you for the latest draw as we see Team Pomeroy take on Team Blacksher. Looks like Team Pomeroy is going first as we see Ryan, the lead, throw the first stones. That means Team Blacksher has the hammer to start the game. And it looks like Pomeroy is asking for a guard. And Ryan delivers the guard. They take out the Blacksher takes a look to see if it's on the center line. It does not appear to be. And so now the lead for Team Blacksher is going to throw the stone. That's going to be that guy. No. We'll have names in a moment. I'm still trying to add to social media what's going on. Looks like Blacksher's going to try and draw around. Actually, it was a corner guard of their own. Apologies. So 2 guards to start this game. It ticks. That's what happened. And so that looks to be a guard as well. So they have 2 slightly corner-ish guards as we see the net stone coming for Blacksher's lead. And that's Marty Blomgren. I just wanted to be sure I had the name right. I don't always get it right, and I always endeavor to do my best, and I'm sorry if I get stuff wrong. So Blomgren is able to make that draw. Really beautiful buried. As we see Ryan's father, Paul Tanner, with the first of the second stones. They're trying to draw around the guard too. Waits maybe just a smidge on the light side. But it looks like it might draw to the 8-foot. It's exposed a little bit, but Blacksher is, I think, opting to clear the guards. With the second for Blacksher, that's Hell Brown. I thought they were going to try and angle the guard back.
What is this? The secret is you have to go by height. If you have alternating heights.
So that doesn't change the situation of the rings too much as Paul Tanner is making a second shot. I think looking to do that draw again with a little bit more weight.
Me and Marco curling Jess. Oh, what's happening here?
And that looks like it crashed on the guard and rolled wide.
Jeez.
Shot stone is the yellow in the back 4 foot. As Hal Brown gets ready for his next rock. They're looking to draw as well. Going for the in-turn clockwise rotation. This looks like it's going to be also a kind of a front stone. Maybe make things a little tricky for Pomeroy. Team Pomeroy hails from the Oval Curling Club of Utah. They play at the Utah Olympic Oval, the speed skating long track venue during the 2002 Olympics. It's still in use as a speed skating facility, and it was also the temporary practice home of the now Utah Mammoth NHL team. As we see Brandon Mallett with his first, I think looking to maybe open things up. Actually, this is a draw. Maybe try to set something up for the second half of this end. All those balls were off the ice. So it's a bit of a pickle for Pomeroy, although Pomeroy might be happy to just force Blacksher to a single point in this first end, as it is currently Blacksher sitting 1 and 3 in the rings, as the third for Team Blacksher gets set to deliver. This is going to be Neil Hunter Smith. I think throwing a little bit more weight, maybe looking to do an in-off on the red on the wings. No, this is a draw. Just a pretty straight draw. I thought they might do some pinball action, but just a draw down to the top 12, just to make it really, really hard for Pomeroy to find a draw into the rings. That was a good shot there from Hunter Smith. As now it looks like Pomeroy has dialed up a takeout for Brandon. It looks like it was thin to the guard, but it got there. Tapped 2 of the yellows. One went through the rings out of play, and then the second yellow got pushed back to the 4 foot, and his second shot. So it's simultaneously improved and worsened the situation for Pomeroy. But I think it was hard to do it any better than what was delivered. As we see Neil's nest, it's going to be another draw front stone to the top of the house. We have all 4 sheets in action. Team Blacksher hails from the OC Curling Club. They currently don't play in Orange County, which is a point of note, as they currently play at the facility in Long Beach by the airport. OC is working to get their own ice, and the fifth for Team Blacksher noted that their fundraising campaign for dedicated ice continues at ocdedicatedice.com, and that's ocdedicatedice.com. It's the good type of ice. As we are to slip stones, and Hal Brown's front stone guard ended up in a really nice place. So this is Ken Pomeroy for his rink. Has a scads of experience and was a former committee chair of the Oval's advisory committee. So it looks like they're going to try and draw down on top of the second shot. So they want to make sure they're past the guard, and they are. Now the question is, where is it going to sit down? And it's just a smidge on the heavy side. It makes contact with the second yellow stone, and then the shooter's going to roll wide to the edge of the 8-foot.
Boo! Boo! Cheaters! He knows where my heart lies. Oh, you're just instigating. That's the kind of shot you say. I was like, I heard Robin's racing. Pat's bad. Yes.
So the situation is looking pretty good for Adam Blacksher and his rink. As he's back in the hack, cleaning the stone. I think they're going to try and draw and put up a front stone. Pomeroy might have a slight out. The odds are not high for Pomeroy, but it might get him to shots. As the front stone is put up, does close the front door, and so Pomeroy is looking at what I think they need to take, which is doing a red raise toward the button. It depends on if those front stones are how locked together they are. But that situation, they're taking a look at it, and the other option is to raise the red on the right of the center line, but he's not doing that. So I think what they're choosing to do is that he might be content to give up 2 in this first end. It's not the best outcome, but it does minimize the damage. As the Pomeroy gets set in the hack. Pomeroy's last rock is away without the hammer here in this first end. Looking for a draw or a guard. I'm not quite sure. This is going to be a guard. And they want to make sure they block the draw path to promote that yellow that Adam just delivered. And that does look to be made. So Team Blacksher has 2 in the hand, and they're going to try to draw for a third, and they basically need to be biting the 4-foot ring for that third point. And this is Adam Blacksher's last. A hammer coming in the first end. This is going to get around the guard. Another question is it going to curl enough to get to the 4-foot and hang on to sit around? As close as Paul sweeps it and sweeps it to the back 8-foot. And so it's just not quite enough, perhaps. It's close. So there might be a measure on B. They're taking a look, and they are going to do a measure, calling for a technical timeout. And now we're going to see the most exciting measure in all of sports, the pressure dial. As the head ice official for the event, Kevin Jorgensen, makes his way onto the ice. Look at the heroic arrival of our head ice official. So got the measuring device on the ice. I don't like how the stabilizer is in front of my cameras. All right, but we are now ready to see the most exciting measure in all of sports, the pressure dial. Blacksher's got one in the hand. Let's see if there's a second one in the offing.
Oh,
So there's one. Round and round we go. Where it stops, it's going to stop at the yellow. And this looks maybe yellow. Although he pushed it outwards, so it seems to be a just a single for Team Blacksher. But we'll see what score they post. So a pretty exciting first end. Lots of rocks in play. And we'll see what happens next when we come back to the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships. And ongoing coverage of the event is being brought to you by, come on, doubletakeout.com. Operated by Team Pomeroy, the guy who's on the ice right now. He updates the site throughout the competitive curling season with results from the latest competitive curling events. He creates a unique ranking of the top men's and women's teams from around the world. See how your favorite team ranks at doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Test your skip skills against your friends online at curling.gg. Free online curling platform with real physics simulation. And by Endgame Curling. Unlock the next level with Endgame's leading edge curling brooms and accessories. Endgamecurling.com. All right, back to the action here on our feature sheet. In a moment, we'll go around the ring so you guys know what happens on the other sheets in play this draw. As you see, Ryan's first shot, I think looking for a corner guard. Marty's first shot went into the rings. And that was just a single for Team Blacksher, as I thought, but I wanted to be sure. Here we are in the second end. Pomeroy has the hammer. I wasn't sure about the measure, but like after Kevin did the measure, it looked like Pomeroy had the second shot. So Marty's next stone headed down the way. It's just coming up a little light as they're really swooping the gadzooks out of it. And that will settle in as a center guard. So Pomeroy is looking for hack weight to pop out the Blomgren shot stone on the button. As you see Ryan Tanner with his next. This is hanging out. Pomeroy asked for hack weight. And it looks like it's going to make contact. That's a nice curl there. So the hit's made. The shot stone goes sayonara. And it is now Pomeroy sitting shot in the top 4 foot. So Blacksher wastes not a lick of time to set up the takeout for Hal Brown. Let me show you Hal Brown and his beautiful delivery. Sweepers are on it. I think the curl is going to be something to watch for in this draw, as it's close to the guard and it ticks the guard. And the shooter itself is going to roll wide, right to the edge of the sheet, in between the house and the sheet. That is kind of the finesse place to put it. No one deliberately tries to put the stone in that spot, but they managed to put it in like the weirdest spot on the ice. As we see Paul just set for his first. So I think Paul Tanner is being asked to put up a front stone. Oh, actually he's asked to draw around the corner guards. But there's a little too much spice on that salami. I don't think anyone's ever called a curling stone a salami before, but you know, first time for everything. And that goes through the house out of play. So Hal Brown is now going to, I think, try the takeout again. So this is a draw tap. I think the weight's pretty good. It's going to push the shot stone to the back and out of play. And the shooter's going to roll partially buried under the corner guard. So that was a good follow-up from Hal Brown. And soft weight. Just underscoring that you don't need a lot of weight to do takeouts. In a lot of cases. There's going to be some situations where you need to move granite and you're going to need the speed and the energy to do so. But for that type of shot that Hal just delivered, that was backline to hack weight really. So this shot, Ryan really swept to make sure it got to the shot stone, and it did. So that takeout was accomplished. The shooter's lost, so we have a wide open house. And so Blacksher's going to ask Neil Hunter Smith to draw to about the tee line behind the guards. Doesn't necessarily have to be on the tee line, just needs to be around the guards. That looks like a pretty smooth release from Mr. Hunter Smith. Looking to get around the guards. This is hanging out a little bit, but now you can see it start to curl. But it's not going to curl back that much. This actually gives Pomeroy an opportunity to use the guards himself. So not a bad outcome, just a little tricky. So Pomeroy is asking for a bumper board weight hit and roll. This is going to be from Brandon Malik. So the hit's going to be there. Now let's see if it's going to roll. And it rolls ever so slightly under the corner guards. That was a beautiful shot there from Brandon. Full points for Ravenclaw. I don't know their houses. I'm just guessing. So right now it's Pomeroy sitting 1, and it looks like Neil's going to try to draw on top of the shot stone in the 8 foot. Doesn't have to be right to it. And also it's starting to curl now, so I think it's going to get past the guards. Now they're going to try and push it over with Marty really trying to coach it over. Not enough, as Ken takes over the sweeping and pushes it to the back of the 12 foot for second shot. So some good coordination to try and save that shot. It just wasn't there. But it does put a stone in the rings for Blacksher, even though it's not currently counting. As you see, Brandon, his next, I'm going to guess it's going to be a front stone. Could be a guard, could just be in front of the house. Just as long as it's protecting that shot stone. And then depending on how this shot goes, this is a bit heavy. So Ken's going to the back of the ring. It's kind of calling an audible to try to get it over to the yellow that was just pushed there. And Pomeroy was able to get at least enough of the yellow to stick around for second shot. So just a bit of a miss there, I think, from Brandon, but they were able to make something out of it. They're taking they took a really long look to see if it's in the house. It's really hard to tell if it is or not. And some of the Coyotes people were telling me that the houses are not necessarily true to like being in a 12-foot wide circle. So, you know, they kind of said like if they had a chance for a measure and it was kind of, if there's a question about it, you might as well do the measure. So it looks like we're to skip stones, and Adam Blacksher is going to be asked to do the draw on top, kind of to follow what Neil and Brandon have both tried to do. And let's see if Blacksher has this in his hand. So they called switch. So they're trying to hold the line, but I think the line wasn't too bad. It's curling now, so I guess they did need to switch. It's past the card. Now the question is to see where it ends up, and it ends up right on top of the red to sit shots. That was a beauty there. I was thinking earlier in the end that Pomeroy could have maybe split the rings. And I think the only way that could have worked is if that shot that they drew to the right side was shot and then forced Blacksher to make a play on it. Because if the shot on the right wasn't shot, then Blacksher would have done just what he did. So interesting to see this end unfold. I'm curious about what Pomeroy wants with his shots. Because the broom is set for a heavy draw, but I think there's a risk. I think they're going to try and push the yellow back. There's no way to get the yellow gone entirely. As Ken Pomeroy pushes from the hack. The first two of his skip stones with the hammer here in the second end. So Paul is sweeping out really hard because it's on the guard. If he stayed on it, he maybe would be able to get another type of roll, or like a deeper roll, as it were. So it did crash on the guards. It was tight, and so that just, I think that was the likely outcome, unfortunately. It did open things up. There is a port now. And so I think either Blacksher's going to try to sit 2 or close the port. And it looks like they're going to try to sit 2, which makes sense. because that way Pomeroy is going to be forced to draw for a single. The broom setup now, the disadvantage of the shot is that Blacksher's showing Pomeroy the path and the timing to make this draw for a single point. Perhaps. We'll see what happens. So Marty's ready to pounce on it. He's super eater. Now he jumps on it, seeking to push it as far as he can, and it's going to tap the red and the badge and stick around for third shot. So the safer shot here for Pomeroy is to just draw for one, draw for a piece of the forefoot. I don't really see any sort of crazy circus shot for two. So I think they're going to do the discretion being the better part of valor, go for the single. We talked about the risk reward factor, and like there's not really a reward for the circus shot, and the risk is all there, and really give Blacksher a pretty strong lead heading into the third end. So set up for the draw. You can see that Paul has the broom pretty much where Neil had the broom for Team Blacksher. So they're basically going to try and follow Blacksher down. I would time this, but I can't see the hotline on this camera. And it's just a little frustrating because I set up the camera so you can see the hog line on the video feed, and the cameras just move ever so slightly. So the line's looking pretty good. They just need to make sure it is abiding the forefoot for the single, but it needs to sit down, and it's not going to sit down in time, so it will be a steal of one for Team Blacksher. So that was a solid effort from Pomeroy. It just was a little too deep, and it will give Blacksher a 2-0 lead, but Pomeroy will have the hammer as we head into the third end. And we'll have more about that when we return. Before we start the next end, let's go around the rings as part of our trademarked unique name. No one's ever used the phrase around the rings before, ever, until just now. And of course, I'm joking. On sheet A, we have a women's pool game between Team Connolly of Wine Country taking on Team Feldman of Wine Country. Connolly stole the first end, they're up 1-0. Sheet B is our men's game that we're watching. Pomeroy is down 2-0 over Team Blacksher. On sheet C, we have Team Malloret of the Oval taking on Team Collins of Park City. And Malloret converted the hammer. They're up 2-0 over Team Collins. And then on sheet D, we have a contest between Team Stephanie of Wine Country taking on Team Lazarowicz from Silicon Valley. And Stephanie is up 5-0 over Team Stephanie in the third end. So all the action's on bonspieler.com. So Roxon play, we're underway here in the third end as Marty is being asked to deliver a center guard with the clockwise in-turn rotation. And it looks like it's just going to curl a little too far, but it is good for a guard. So Ryan delivers his first. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com, offering curling fans a unique way to see how their favorite men's and women's teams rank against the competition at doubletakeout.com. And it is kind of a fun site to check out. It allows you to sort by nation, so you can see how Canadian teams are faring, or Malaysian teams. You can also see how they rate in different statistical areas like hammer efficiency and more. So that was a good center guard from Ryan Tanner. And so it looks like Blomberg's being asked to draw a round. So Marty's been curling for 6 years. He's been to the 500 Nationals for 2 years, made the playoffs in 2023. His best skill in curling is hitching his cart to strong horses, which I wish I had that skill. So that does draw to the 4 foot. It gives a target for Pomeroy and Ryan Tanner to tackle. And Ryan's been curling for 4 years. His fun fact is that he's an aspiring sports broadcaster and would much rather be in a stadium or arena than at home. He enjoys being up in the mountains to go fishing or exploring. And horseshoe crabs have survived 3 global extinction events, and some tarantulas keep frogs as pets. And those seem to be fun facts, as he was able to execute the hit, not too much of a roll. And as we see Hal Brown push out of the hat, looking to trade hits back and forth. This is looking pretty good. So another nose hit. Not too much of a roll. Kind of like the Totino's pizza roll. They're pretty good, but they're not much of a roll. As Paul Tanner gets in the hat. Paul's been curling for 3 years. He says it's been an awesome opportunity to play with family and meet new friends. He's learned a lot, from shot making to swooping to how not to fall during the slide. Still learning, still working on that. He's able to make the hit and roll. Hit and rolls can be tricky. Sometimes it's one of those shots that you need to have in your repertoire, but it's hard to execute sometimes. So he does hit the hit and roll, but it does poke out the other side, and so Hal's going to be asked to take that on. And Hal's been curling for 4 years. Includes appearances at the first Arena Playdowns in San Francisco in 2023. He has also had some championship appearances on the Pacific Northwest Curling Association 5 and Under for Team Kunkel, and also the 2022 Rising Stars Bonspiel. Whole bunch more. A pretty impressive resume from Mr. Brown. He crashes on the guard, and so it looks like Tanner's going to be asked to put up a front stone. It did clear one of the guards, as we see the stone make its way down the ice. And Brandon's trying to push it over now. This is going to be more of a front stone guard. It's a guard. So that's a good shot there from Tanner, Paul Tanner. So we have 9 teams in the men's field, 3 in the women's. So we have 2 pools for the men. One pool has 4, the other has 5. And this is the 4-team pool. And so they're going to play 3 games. And the top 2 teams will advance to the playoffs. In the 5-team pool, they're going to play 4 games of pool play, and then again the top 2 teams will advance to the playoffs. So after some discussion, Blacksher has moved to take out the guards, to peel the guard for Neil Hunter Smith. Throwing with his left hand. And it looks like there's going to be some contact. The question is what happens. The answer is that the guard goes through the rings out of play. So, looks like Ken's going to ask Brandon to draw or put up another front stone. So Brandon's been curling for 7 years. His Bonspiel history includes being at Arena Playdowns in 2024 and 2023. And then also being the B event semifinalists at the 2024 Rocky Mountain Invitational at Denver Curling. And that was a front stone for Mr. Mallet. Ends up in an okay place. The red rock, I think, is a little open. And I say that, it looks like it's 80% open. So a takeout could pop it out. And a nose hit or even a slight roll left or right would definitely put Blacksher in a pretty good position. We're playing 8 ends of regulation, although teams can choose to resign early. It's looking pretty good for a hit and roll. You have a hit and that slight roll to the left. So that really worked out well for Blacksher. Looking at the line here, that shot stone's pretty well buried, and so Pomeroy is asking Brandon to draw. Looking to draw around the center of the guards. See where we're at here. So it's going to be wide of the guards. It's going to settle into the top 8 foot. But the yellow on the left is still out counting it. So it's one Blacksher. Pomeroy sitting the second shot. Only one team can score. So it looks like we're to skip stones, and Adam Blacksher is going to be asked to pop out the red, maybe roll. The primary goal is to just get rid of the red, and if they hit on the nose, that's not a bad outcome. So it has a good weight out of hand. Going to hit, and we're going to see a bit of a roll. It's going to roll on top of the shot stone on the left. So that's a pretty well executed play. Blacksher is now sitting 2. So Pomeroy has 2 stones to go. It's possible to try to manufacture what's called a Stips Deuce. And so if I were to try to manufacture a Stips Deuce, I think you had to get around the guards, which is what's set up. I was thinking you could go on top of the yellows and then like maybe force Blacksher to either draw around the guards or to try to do a risky takeout. I think it kind of just depends on what you think you can get away with. As Ken gets set for his first. Looking for a draw. Weight looks a little on the light side as both sweepers are on it. I got 1540, which could be top of the house. We've seen it this week. But it looks like it crashed on the guard and rolled out a little bit. So the line was pretty good. The weight was just a little off. And it does make that draw to the button a little harder and makes that stips deuce nigh on impossible. So Blacksher's looking to peel the guard. It looks like, oh, the weight's not necessarily set for a peel, but the broom is set for a peel. So I think what they're going to do is they're trying to put up a front stone and just take away any possible run bat for Pomeroy. But this is over curling. It was light out of hand. And it's going to end up in front of the guards. So Pomeroy has the tap back still, and he still has the draw. I just was curious about that shot. And if Pomeroy really wanted to be crazy, he could try to do an in-off on the yellows in the house. But that's crazy talk. So the broom's down for the draw. His first shot was, again, about 1540. And we've been seeing about a second faster to be in the rings as Pomeroy gets set for the hammer here in this third end. Weight's looking better, and the line looks good. They need to be basically close to biting the forefoot. I got 1340 that time, and that's too heavy now. So it's not going to sit down as they sweep it through the rings to the back. And it's going to be a steal of 2 for Team Blacksher. That was a good end for the OC rink. And just a bit of agony for the Pomeroy rink out of Oval Curling of Utah. Pause in the action. We'll be right back as we continue with our ongoing coverage of the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships. Coming to you live from the Coyotes Curling Club in Tempe, Arizona, where it is a balmy, brisk 103 degrees. But it's a dry heat. We'll be back. Back to the action here in the fourth end on our feature game. Marty is being asked to draw into the rings, and he does settle in the back button. With Team Blacksher holding a 4-0 lead. Blacksher is trying to draw play to the rings and then turn this end into a hitting game. And Pomeroy is opting to ignore that for now, asking Ryan Tanner to put up a corner guard. So weight's a little on the light side. It looks like it's going to be a mid or tight guard when it's all said and done. And that is a tight corner guard. So now Marty is going to be asked to put up a front stone. And Marty, his appearances include again 500 nationals. He was also at senior nationals in 2023. He was also on the 2025 MoPac Senior Championship team with Team Horseman. And he was also the award winner for the OC Curling Please Leave and Play Pickleball Award. And it's a pretty good front stone as a guard. And so Ryan is now pushing out of the hat. His experience includes being at arenas last year, making it to the semifinals. Was also at the 500 qualifiers this year. He also survived the frigid winters of the Sawtooth Outdoor Bonspiel in Stanley, Idaho. And was also an honorary member of the championship team for the Wright Ice Cup in Queensland, Australia. And also won the Hive Bonspiel D bracket 2 years in a row. The Hive is the oval Bonspiel held every spring, usually in April. It's a good time. As Ryan's drawdown turns into a little bump and roll wide, so it gives an opportunity for Hal to bop it out. And looking for like kind of tap weight, hack, I believe. So it's enough to hit the red and get it through the rings, out of play. Good takeout. So now Blacksher sitting 2, and just based on the gesture that Ken made, it was almost like he wanted a guard, but that doesn't make sense. But it looks like it is going to be a guard or a front. Okay. It's a tap back. It's a tap out. So they're trading hits back and forth. I think they maybe wanted to roll towards the center if they could, because now Hal can, trade the hits back and forth. So this is going to hit the red onto the yellow. So that's the miss that Pomeroy may have been looking for. So just a bit unlucky there from Hal Brown. They tried to push it over. And the shooter itself rolls wide right. So it looks like Pomeroy's going to ask for a front stone from Paul Tanner. And Paul knows that he did his first learning curl with his family, and they've stuck together. with his wife, sister, and son, Ryan. The first recorded current stones were actually just flat-bottom river rocks without handles. Sometimes he throws rocks without handle too. So that stone from Tanner went a little deep. Well, looks like it's good for third shots. So Neil Hunter Smith is getting sets. He's been curling for 18 months, so he's the newbie. But he definitely looks like he belongs. And his competitive experience also reflects that, as he was at the Arena Playdowns last year with Team Barnes. He was also with Team McBride in the Club Playdowns this year, reaching the semifinals. Was also the champion at the Silicon Valley Base Spiel, playing lead, and then was also the BIA final runner-up at the Hollywood on Location event. And this is looking pretty good. It's not quite corner frozen, so which is what they really wanted. And so now Pomeroy could probably try to do a hit and roll, and that's what he's asking for. As Brandon is asked to do the honors. So we're playing 8 ends of regulation. We do have a halftime coming up at the end of this end. It's going to be 5 minutes in duration, and we're going to take it with them because I could use a a palate cleanser in terms of like making sure my throat is refreshed. So the hit and roll is made, and gets the shot yellow to the back of the 8-foot ring, or the yellow that was in the rings. I don't know if it was shot, but the shooter also rolls towards the guards. So that was a good hit and roll. Soft weight. See, you don't really need a missile to really move rocks around and change the strategy of an end. As with Pomeroy sitting now 2,
I love it.
Blacksher's looking to open things up, and I guess maybe get lucky and see if they can maybe bump the red into bump their yellow into the rings. Now let's see. This is up weight. It's trying to run the red back onto the yellow. And not a horrible outcome for Blacksher. However, it does put another red in the rings, and there is a potential danger brewing. Not too much danger, because right now Pomeroy is sitting 1, 2, 5, 6. And so that means there's 2 Blacksher stones that are out counting the outermost 2 Pomeroy rocks. And so there's not going to be an easy way for Pomeroy to get those out. So Malik is looking to take out one of the stones. I say it's not going to be easy. There's 3 stones to go after this. Well, there's 2 after this one. And so hits one of the yellows out. So now there's a very lonely Blacksher yellow in the back, 8 foot, hanging on by the hair of his chin. So something might be cooking for Pomeroy, who is looking to get on the board after being shut out the first 3 ends. And so I think Blacksher's going to be in damage control mode. Looking to draw on top of the shot stones around the button. That does seem to be the best out. There's not an easy, you can't really hit your way out at this point, and it's going to be difficult to. I'm just saying that you can't hit your way out. I mean, you could try, but you can only get maybe 1 or 2 of the stones, and you're giving up 3, maybe 4. So this is Blacksher's first, looking to draw to the top of the button. This is over curling a bit. Is it on the guard? It is, and so that is a disaster for Blacksher. It does open up the shot stones, and so Pomeroy might look to close the door as he is positioning his broom in front of where the shot stones are. So I think he's probably looking to close the door on that side, and then Blacksher might have a couple of opportunities to either draw in or outcount at least some of these Pomeroy reds. Pomeroy Red sounds like a discontinued cigarette brand. And I mean, there is some tobacco in our history of curling because the main Canadian men's competition is called the Briar, named after a brand of tobacco when the event was first introduced about 100 years ago. So looking to draw, put up a front stone as Pomeroy gets sets. So Ryan and Brandon jump on the rock. I think for weight, more than line. The line's the most important part. And so now the sweepers are off of it. Also, like if they put another one in, that wouldn't have been a bad outcome actually. Because it also may have tempted Blacksher to take it on. So now that side is blocked off, and Blacksher is going to go to the other side of the ice and try that draw down to the 4-foot again. I mean, even any shot buried in the 8-foot cuts Pomeroy down to 1 or 2, and makes it, kind of takes away the danger for Blacksher. Because if Blacksher misses this rock, Pomeroy is going to make a play on the yellow in the back, and then has a chance to score a mittenful to head into the 4th end break. So this is a clutch shot coming for Adam Blacksher. So this is a bit wide. Also, if it goes and sits in front of the yellow, this might be a good plan B. And maybe you just give up 3, which is not great, but it's better than the alternative. So that seems to be what they had wanted, or the plan B. But it looks like probably the best that they could have done. And it definitely cuts Pomeroy down to 2, but Pomeroy has a chance to score 3. Have to look at the risk reward. If they were able to make those 2 yellows go away, Pomeroy would be scoring 5, maybe 6. But the way those routes are lined up, I don't think there's a double there, especially in a way that would keep the reds in the back in play. So I think it's going to be a draw for 3, especially based on where Tanner has the broom. People are just clapping. So Pomeroy's taking another look at it. I think partly, if you look at the head-on view, the rocks, the yellow rocks are exposed. It's just I don't think you can move the yellow that's closest to us far enough to get the 3 or 4 or the 4 or more in play. You know, people in the chat, if you have any thoughts, you know, definitely appreciate your input. It's always fun to have you guys join the conversation. So Pomeroy's made the decision. He's back in the hat.
Jordan throwing like as hard as he can.
And his shot's away, doing the takeout, looking for a double. A chance for a fistful to go into the fourth end break. It's not looking like it's there, maybe. It just jams the yellow on the red. And it looks like it's going to be a score of 2. So Pomeroy did a little gamble. Still came in with 2 points. That's going to get them back into this game. As Blacksher still holds a 4-2 lead. But Pomeroy is on the board as we head into the 5-minute fourth end break. That was just an interesting shot. So as the teams take a break, we will too. But before we do, just a friendly reminder and thanks to our sponsors, including doubletakeout.com. Ken Pomeroy's website offering stats and information about the top men's and women's teams from around the world. See how your favorite team stacks up against the competition at doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg. Next time you're confused on ice, take a photo, recreate it on curling.gg, and try multiple outcomes. It's the only platform that lets you take a shot, undo, and try again. Curling.gg. And by Endgame Curling, manufacturers of the Endgame Origin and Endgame Icon, as well as the travel handle, the Endgame Icon and Endgame Origin. Unlock your potential with the curling broom that's right for you at endgamecurling.com. All right, we're taking a break. We'll be right back in just under 5 minutes. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be right back. so I'm happy about that. Just had to switch out a battery. Welcome back to the second half action of our latest draw of the 2025 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. Rocks and play were underway. I had to swap out some batteries. Our technology is wireless, which is very great, but sometimes you have to keep the technology happy. They're not hungry devices, but they do need to be charged from time to time. So we are to second stones. As we see Hal Brown looking to draw on top of their own stone, I believe. Looks like this might tap it back a little bit. There was a red in front, I apologize. And it did clear the red. So it is now Blacksher sitting 2. This game has been strongly in favor of Blacksher, taking points in the first 3 ends before Pomeroy scored 2 in the 4th. He had a potential chance for 4. A potential chance for 3, the easy chance for 3. He had a big risk for 4 or more, which he tried to go for and it didn't pay off. But they were able to take 2. And so this draw round looks to be a little heavy from Paul Tanner. And Adam Blacksher's going to sweep it to the back of the reins, out of play. And coverage of this end is being brought to you by curling.gg. Curling.gg is the only platform where you can take your shot, watch it execute with accurate physics, undo and try again until it's perfect. Practice strategy, finesse your technique, and enjoy a good game, all for free and ad-free. Visit curling.gg. And we're going to go around the reins as all the games have had their 4th end break. The halftime show was Ghosts of Super Bowl halftime's passed. It was crazy. We had a seance in the warm room, and we had like Aretha Franklin and Michael Jackson all do like little performances in the seance. It was, you had to be here to see it. And that was the halftime entertainment during the fourth end break. As we see Brandon Malik look to open things up. Blacksher is really controlling the house this end with the hammer. And it does bump one of the yellows through and opens up the a path to the center of the house. And so Blacksher is going to try and close it again with Neil Hunter Smith's next rock. Here's Neil's first. A little ad it looks like, but looks like it may have been needed to get the stone in position for a front stone. So that front stone was made. Good shots. And just thinking about the format of this event, we mentioned we have 2 pools for the 9 men's teams. We also have 3 women's teams. They're all here vying for a chance at the regional championship and the berth at the Arena National Championship set for this fall at Curl Vegas in Las Vegas. They're within our geographic region, but Curl Vegas is not a MoPac club. And the winners of this event will be joining 2 other MoPac events that are already in the national championship field because they are defending national champions. That includes Team Aces of Silicon Valley for the women and Team Spangler for the men from wine country. So Brandon's shot over curled and didn't really improve the situation too much. Both teams have 30 minutes of thinking time to play 8 ends. They are a little behind well, they're on pace, it appears, as we're almost done with this 5th end. After the 4th end, they wanted to have about 15 minutes remaining, and they're under 13 minutes for one team and under 14 for the other team. So they're on pace. As you can see, the clocks in the background there. The red clock is running for Pomeroy, and they're the ones that are a little tight on time. They're still on pace though. And Blacksher has just under 14 minutes, and so they are doing pretty well. It's a bit of a sticky wicket for Pomeroy, as there are 4 Blacksher yellows in the rings. And this is a situation where Pomeroy can't really force their way open on the right side, so they're looking to draw on the other side. Let's see if Pomeroy can work his way out of the jam that he finds himself in. So his shot's away. Weight looks decent. They're working to try to push it over. That's about 14-12 seconds. 14.12. And it does crash on the yellow up top. It does cut Blacksher down to what appears to be 2 when Blacksher was first hitting 4. So having the potential score. And I didn't realize that one of the players is using a club stabilizer from the Coyotes club. It's totally within the rules, I just haven't seen it. So this is Adam Blacksher's first. I think also looking to draw around. Took a bit more ice, and is likely going to need a little bit more speed considering how far out that they are. And also it's curling pretty hard. It looks like it's going to go in the pile. It was 14.06, so the weight was good. And this is going to probably make sure that Blacksher is sitting 2, solidly 2. And there's not going to be a really easy way for Pomeroy to outcount those 2, considering how well buried they are. So that was a good draw there from Adam Blacksher. So, seeing that they're not going to be able to improve the situation by taking on the 2 yellows directly, they're opting to do a yellow-red raise and hopefully maybe tap the red back towards the button. This is a high-risk shot, but there isn't a lot else for Pomeroy to take on. So going for a tap back raise. This is Ken Pomeroy with his last without the hammer here in the 5th end. Yeah, it's looking a little wide, but it looks like it's going to make contact. And it does get one of the yellows away. And so now Blacksher's just sitting 1. So a very well executed shot by Pomeroy to cut Blacksher down to 1. So that's a really interesting sequence of events, and also kind of underscoring, I think, the importance of knowing when to bail out of an end. Teams might have a strategy on how to play an end, but they need to know when to say the strategy is not working and work to bail out, because Blacksher was sitting 4 at one point, and now Blacksher's sitting just the 1, although there is a chance for Blacksher to get back to 4 by running the yellow back onto the red, and that is what he's attempting to do here. That is going to be a key shot. It's over curling a little bit. They need to hold the line. It's going to be close, and it's there. The red goes away, and it's going to be a count of 4 for Adam Blacksher. And that's a great response by the skip from OC Curling. So Blacksher's going to take an 8-2 lead into the 6th end. We're going to take a pause as well, and we'll be right back to the action at the 2025 MoPac Championships presented by curling.gg. As we just started on this next end, let's take a trip around the rings. Lots of action on the 4 sheets here at Coyotes Curling for this draw. On sheets A, the women's game between Team Connolly of Wine Country taking on Team Feldman of Wine Country. Connolly had jumped out to a 4-1 lead after 3, but Feldman responded with a 4 spot in the 4th end to take a 5-4 lead. Feldman currently over Connolly on sheet A. Sheet B is the men's game between Team Pomeroy of Oval and Team Blacksher of Orange County. We just saw Blacksher take 4 with a hammer in the 5th end to take an 8-2 lead over Pomeroy. As Marty Blomgren drew into the rings for his first. And Ryan Tanner looks like he's going to be asked to put up a guard. Sheet D, the contest between Lazarowicz of Silicon Valley and... Oh, I'll do this game. Lazarowicz of Silicon Valley and Stephanie of Wine Country. This is sheet D. Stephanie started strong with a 5-0 lead after 2. And then Lazarowicz has been slowly getting back into the game with singles and ends 3, 4, and 5. It's currently Stephanie 5, Lazarowicz 3. And then on sheet C, a contest between Team Collins of Park City taking on Team Malloret of Oval. Malloret opened strong with the 3 after 2 ends. Collins down the board with a single, but it's been all Malloret otherwise. Currently Malloret 6, Collins 1. And Malloret needs to win to stay alive in the playoff hunt. So we're in the 6th end of a possible 8 ends of regulation, although teams can choose to resign early. Although this would be, I think this is Pomeroy's last game, barring a playoff appearance. And then also, this is probably going to be the last game for Blacksher as well. This is actually the last game for men's pool 2. So we will know who the 2 teams are that are going to advance after this draw. So we can go over kind of the scenarios there. Pomeroy is currently 2-0. Blacksher is 1-1. And if Blacksher wins this game, it would be a 2-1 for both teams. And Blacksher has the advantage with the head-to-head and the draw shot challenge. But then there's also Dan Stephanie in his rink, currently up over Lazarowicz, if I remember correctly. And that's correct. So if Lazarowicz wins, then it's going to be a 3-way tie. And then the draw shot, I think, comes into play. And if that were the case, then Pomeroy and Blacksher would be going. I apologize, it would be Blacksher and Stephanie going up, because Stephanie and Blacksher had the lower draw shot challenge measurements. So men's pool 1, there's still plenty to play, as everyone has at least one more game after this, it appears. Well, I think Malloret is going to be done after this. He'll be finished after this game. So he needs to win to be in the hunt. He has the lowest draw shot challenge total, so he has a chance of going up if there is chaos and a multi-way tie at top of the table in pool 1. And then in the women's pool, if they're playing a double round robin, and so currently Connolly is up 3-0. Feldman is 1-1, and Muirs is at 0-3. And Feldman and Muirs have one game after this. And we might not have a playoff. We'll see what happens. If it's clear who the order of the teams after the round robin, there likely isn't a playoff. Please don't quote me on that. But like Connolly is in a very good positioning to make the playoffs or win outright, especially if she wins this game against Feldman right now on the ice. So the house is opened up. The guard that was there is still there. As we are seeing the ongoing second stones as Paul Tanner gets set and delivers. This is looking tight to the guard. They're sweeping to hold the line, but it's on the guard all day. Does open it up, so not a bad outcome, especially since there are two Blacksher rocks. And Pomeroy is looking for a way to get some points on the board to stay in this contest. When they started the competition, the teams ranked the other teams for peer seeding. And the top three included Team Pomeroy and Team Blacksher. So this is a contest between the two teams that their rivals and fellow competitors thought were going to be the top. The third team was Team Gilbert out of the Oval. So this is a pretty interesting contest. It's but some great hits and shots selection in the last end really gave Blacksher that opportunity to score 4. And now they're currently sitting 3, and Pomeroy is chasing again. As Brendan Malik gets set. Looks like it's going to make some contact, perhaps. No contact at all. I apologize. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by Endgame Curling, manufacturers of the Endgame Icon broom, elevating the standard for high-performance broom. With more information at endgamecurling.com. As we see Neil Hunter Smith with his next stone. Arizona. I guess I shouldn't give out a password on a YouTube channel. I almost did it. Oh my goodness. Timeout for Pomeroy. They are in a tight, they're in a jam. Let's see if we can listen in.
Justin, I don't know. It's going to be a minute by the time it's out here. Come on. Were you sleeping? I said, do you think they even need me out there? You guys are doing good.
All right, I can get one of the teams, but it's Blacksher. And we can also hear Team Feldman, as Katie is a very vocal skip, which is great. I'm a vocal skip when I'm on the ice. So this jam that Malik is in. Let's see what they can do here. The shot is really to try to hit and roll towards the center, I believe. They're going to manage to hit, and they're going to roll over the top of the shot stone to the edge of the 12-foot. Just a bit unlucky there. So a good effort, just for naught, unfortunately. So Blacksher sitting 2 right now with Pomeroy at the 3rd stone on the edge of the 12-foot. And we are to skip stones as Adam Blacksher gets set in the hack. Looks like they're trying to put up a front stone or a guard to block the draw path. Did go a little deep, so there's an opportunity for Pomeroy. Looks like he's trying to try a circus shot to just like open everything up and maybe find a way to bring that red on the edge of the 12-foot into play. And that does seem to be a tough proposition, but we're talking about risk reward here. The reward is arguably minimal, but it's a chance to stay alive in a game where they're down 6. So I think by taking the risk to see if they can get like a 2nd point or maybe a 3rd point into the rings, that is what they got to do with the risk reward element at this point in the game. So we got Pomeroy getting ready to throw a missile, a heat-seeking missile. Let's see if it's going to be a scud or a dud. And oh my goodness. So not a good outcome, as it does clear the guard, but they lose a shooter, and then the guard goes to the back of the house and jams on the red that was there. And so now Blacksher sitting 3. I wonder if people remember scud missiles. That was, hate to say, almost 35 years ago. So Adam Blacksher's back in the hack. I think just looking to put a front stone. And things are looking supreme for Blacksher, and they're looking not so supreme for Pomeroy. As Blacksher's rock heads down the way. And it's going to be settling in for a 4th point. Pomeroy is going to go for a single here and risk giving up multiple points, but he has to go for 1 to stay alive. And just a tough turn for Pomeroy. Blacksher's really had control of this game, but it was close until that 5th end, pardon me. So looking for another scud missile here from Ken Pomeroy. And I know scud missiles were used by Iraq, so maybe this is going to be a Patriot missile, perhaps. As the rock's away, looking to see what can happen here. It's going to get 1, 2 stones moving for a double takeout. But that's going to be a steal of 2. And that's going to be all for Team Pomeroy. Make the final. Oh, I didn't update the score. I apologize. Make the final 10-2. And like I said, just an unfortunate turn of events for Team Pomeroy, as that will conclude their pool play. So both Pomeroy and Blacksher are 2-1, and it's Pomeroy's going to need a little bit of luck to stay alive in the playoff hunt. So we're going to take a pause in the action, and I'm going to shift the cameras over to another game while I can. So do stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Reins are free. Yep. I'm going for the triple as lead. I don't know if this one's on that up.
Boys,
I like it.
nice job, Al. Just done it while we was to the spot.
Interesting legends.
All right, we are back with a bonus coverage on Sheet C, the contest between Team Collins with the Red Rocks hailing from Park City, taking on Team Malloret from Oval Curling. We have 4 Utah teams in the field, so it's great to be able to showcase 3 of the 4 within a single draw. So right now the score is leaning towards Malloret, but they're playing the 7th end, it looks like. So it looks like they may have blanked the 6th, I would guess. But let's get caught up on the action when we can, as I'm updating the scoreboard. So it looks like it's 6-3 in favor of Malloret in the 7th end. And it looks like Malloret has the hammer here in the 7th end. All right, so Malloret with the Yellowstones is holding a decent advantage, sitting 2 buried with the hammer here in this 7th end, as Carl makes his way to the delivery hack. And some exciting games on the remaining 3 sheets with playoff spots on the line as Carl gets set. I think they're looking to draw around, maybe to put up a front stone to block, to guard the pile in the center. As you can see where Trevor Dersch has the broom. And Carl's rock is away. I don't think they want to draw in, although they Carl does like to do like a fatal blow to put the game out of reach. But in this case, he wanted to, I think, block the run back, and doesn't make it, unfortunately. So it's great to see these Utah curlers in the field. The tap back is still there for Andrew Collins in the Park City rink. It's fun to call them rinks because we play on stadium rinks. So they're talking these over. They have an okay amount of time, as Collins has just over 4 minutes to play the remainder of his game. And the broom is down for the skip of Team Collins, as he gets set. And looking to tap back the red onto the yellow. That seems to be the call here for Mr. Collins. So the sweepers jump on it pretty quickly. The line is going to be super important. And it looks close. It's going to hit the red back onto the yellow. And that shot was automatic for Collins. And I think they almost cleared the ice before they realized that Carl Malloret had one more stone to go. So as we saw Blacksher defeat Team Pomeroy, just another reminder that the OC Curling Club is working to set up their own dedicated ice. More information is available on their website, ocdedicatedice.com. That's ocdedicatedice.com. A timeout in interesting situation here as the front end comes down to talk over the situation. It's the 7th end. Mallard is up by 3. And so there's not a situation where they can give up more than 1, barring some weird juju fruits going on. I mean, I guess it's possible if Carl throws a missile and just like gets rid of 3 yellows, that, you know, Collins can score 2, but right now it's just Collins sitting 1. And I think they're trying to find any way to maybe tap the yellow up to get 1. Also, like a draw on the right side, on the left side, for a single. And that seems to be like the safest shot, where if they make it to the edge of the button to score, that's great. If they don't, it's okay. They only give up 1 and are up 2 coming home with the hammer. So lots of exciting games on the ice. We'll go around the rings during the break just to let everyone know what is happening on the other sheets, because there's a decent amount of excitement on all the other games on the ice. As Carl gets set, looking for a draw for a single, looking for a piece of the button to outcount that Collins red in a solid 4-foot ring. So the rock is away. The weight, the line looks okay. The weight is just a bit up, and it's not going to come back. So it is going to be a steal of 1 for Team Collins. But Mallard has the 2-point advantage coming home in the 8th and final end of play. We're going to take a pause in the action. I'm going to catch my breath. And then we'll be right back to the finale of the this second to last round of pool play here at the 2025 MoPac Championships, presented by curling.gg. All right. I got snagged on my microphone cable. So before we cash the last end, let's go around the rings, keep you up to date on the action. And like I said, there's a lot to be seen and had. It also on sheet A, it looks like Team Feldman is going to is close to taking down the undefeated Team Connolly, but it's not over yet. Feldman, since the 4th end, has scored 8 unanswered points to take a 9-4 lead over Team Connolly. Both teams hail from wine country. They're about to finish their 7th end, and it looks like there's a lot of Feldman yellows in the rings, but it looks like there might be a red stone to outcount a lot of it. So, very interesting situation on sheet A. Sheet B is our feature sheet, where we just saw Team Blacksher take down the undefeated Team Pomeroy 10-2, finishing in 6 ends. And sheet C, this game between Team Mallard of Oval Curling and Team Collins of Park City is currently a 2-point game in favor of Mallard at 6-4. And on sheet D, a contest between Lazarowicz of Silicon Valley and Team Stephanie of Wine Country. Team Pomeroy is rooting for Team Lazarowicz to kind of tilt the table of standings in their favor. And right now, Lazarowicz is holding a 1-point lead after 7, but Stephanie has the hammer coming home here in this 8th end. So lots of exciting stuff happening. As we turn our attention back to our bonus coverage sheet, where rocks are in play. Team Mallard with the Yellowstones has the hammer advantage and a 2-point lead coming home here in this 8th end. And it looks like Collins has put up 2 center guards with their stones, and that would be Team Collins's lead. As we see, Skylar Anderson for Malloret, I think, looked to try to draw around. And the lead for Collins appears to be Marcus Anderson, as the rock settles into the bat 8 foot, and it gives a target for Collins to take on, and he has the broom down for Scott Brennan to do the honors. So this line's looking decent. It looks a little heavy, but a little tap action is not too bad. Although they don't want to roll open. It's slowing down just in time as it settles into the top 4 foot. And looking at the overhead, it looks like Collins is shot. And so with the 5 rock rule over, we see the second for Team Malloret try to clear some of these guards and gets rid of one, and kind of rolls the guard pile over to the right a little bit. Creates maybe a bit of an opening for the stones in the house. And that would be Jeff Oviatt. So we see Scott's next rock looking to, I think, draw on top of the Malloret yellow in the back 4 foot as the sweepers jump on it. This is going to be more of a guard. I guess that also would make sense to block Malloret from being able to take out their shot stone. However, Collins needs 2 to tie, 3 to win. So Malloret could just try to gum up the works, but that could be disastrous because the more rocks in play equals more chances to score. So Malloret's taking a look at the time clock as he comes down and is talking to his team. They have 4.5 minutes. So they're doing a bit of a timeout as they look over the situation in the house. And I think they could try to do the double, honestly. That guard that was just put up is at an offset angle where Malloret could try to do the double. At the very least, it opens up the front, and there's a damage of jamming, or the danger of jamming. So it's an interesting situation for Malloret. Trying to get my notes in order. We have one more game tonight. We have some MoPac After Dark. Join us tonight at about 8 p.m. Pacific Mountain Standard Time. We're set for a women's game, but we may move to a different game as the shot's away. I apologize. I missed that. But the action starts at 8 tonight, Pacific Mountain Standard Time. And so Jeff Oviatt drew on top of the yellow in the back, and that is good for shot right now. And so Collins is going to be asking his third, Tyler Fredsall, to take it on. It's a nice smooth delivery from Tyler. A couple of these curlers we've seen at the Oval. It's always good to see curlers on the ice, regardless of where they come from. Looking for a takeout here. Hit and stick would be nice. It looks like it's going to hit and stick. But it does create a bit of a cradle for Malloret to sink a stone to. As Trevor Dersch is getting set for his next throw. I think this is his first. Yes, it would be. So this is Trevor Dersch, the device for Team Malloret. Looking to draw, a soft weight draw. Needs to make sure it gets there. The line and the weight are super important as Styler is trying to push it over, but it stops because it's not going to get back in time. So just a little wide. The weight, though, was pretty on the money. But unfortunately, the weight was just a little heavy. And so Collins is looking to draw into that little pocket that was set up. As Tyler Fredsall gets set for his second of the 2 Vice stones for the team with the red rocks. They're throwing a bit more weight than I thought. Looking to hold the line. This could end up like a bit of a disaster for Collins. Let's see how it works out. Ooh. It made contact with the yellow first and then rolled on top of the shot red. And so now Collins is sitting 3 for the win, but they need to steal. And so now Dersch is going to try to throw some heat at those 2 shot stones on the button and just to the left of the button. Styler jumps on sweeping. This is tied to the guard. Okay, now it's looking pretty good. So the yellow runs the red back onto the red. The first red jams and kicks the second red, kind of pinballs through the back of the house. And so now Collins is sitting 2 shots to tie with 2 shots to go without the hammer. And Warm Room is going a little crazy for the action on sheet D, and I can't blame them because it looks really exciting. There are many rocks in the rings, and Lazaro, which is holding a 1-point lead, and they're sitting shot right now. So Andrew Collins is in the hatch, about to throw his first. And just exciting finishes all around here as Collins' rock is away. It's a bit wide. And so 2 to tie. If there's a tie after regulation, we'll play an extra end. Teams will they should get an additional timeout plus another set of thinking time. They can't carry the time over from their regulation game. So Malloret's going to try to open things up, but this could end up backfiring. So Carl Malloret, he's been curling at the Oval since about 2019, so this is his 6th year back, but he curled for about 4 years after the 2002 Olympics, so he's got about 10 years of total experience. And all 3 oval skips here have a solid experience and solid competitive experience. Team Gilbert, Ramin Gilbert, has the fewest years, but they also have some of the best, strongest successes, as it were. So Malloret's able to clear one of the guards. And so now the draw is there again as Scott Brennan holds the broom for Collins. Collins has about a minute to go to make their last shot, so plenty of time for one more stone. Looking for a draw. So Collins, obviously, I think would like to be sitting 3 and being able to possibly win this game in regulation. Malloret, I think, might be hoping for a bit of a miss so that he can get down to that shot stone and either take one or give up one and just win the game outright for them. So this is looking okay. It looks like they're maybe over curling a smidge, but a little bounce off of the guard wouldn't be too bad. It doesn't bounce. So there's a heavy draw to the red to make it go away, and that's how Malloret can secure the win. So Carl's calling the team down just to talk about the shots. I maybe would have wanted to keep one of the lead players in the hack just so they can say what they see. Because it looks like from this over the shoulder angle that like a heavy draw tap or just even a draw would secure the win for Malloret. So they're looking over their options. It's handshakes on sheet D where Lazarevich pulled it out. Is that correct? Okay, so we got a little chaos happening in the pool, the 14 pool. We'll see what happens after that game is recorded. Looking at our feature bonus coverage sheets, Malloret has the broom down. Trevor Dersch, the vice, has the broom down. Carl sometimes, takes a drink of water just to make sure that he's set with his shots. A crucial moment for Team Malloret. It doesn't seem like there'd be a situation where they would give up the win, but this is a chance to draw on top of the shot stone to secure the win for Team Malloret. It's a little wide, and the weight might be a little up. If they make contact, that's not too bad. They're going to kiss it. They're going to push it to the back. 8 foot, the 12 foot. Is it enough? It is. So Malloret gives up 1, but it's not enough for Collins to secure the win. So make the final on our bonus coverage 6-5 in favor of Team Malloret. And Malloret needed that game to stay alive. And they are done with their pool play. There's a couple teams in the next draw in the pool, but they are done. So a bonkers ending that we just saw there.
I think you guys win either way,
So as they clear the ice, I just want to thank our sponsors for the extended coverage, including doubletakeout.com manufacturers. They provide rankings and analytics of the top men's and women's teams from around the world at doubletakeout.com. Curling.gg. Test your skip skills against your friends online at curling.gg. And by Endgame Curling, manufacturers of the travel handle, a full carbon fiber broom that easily separates into 3 for convenient packing and carry-on luggage at endgamecurling.com. So a crazy finish there. Before we sign off, just to update the games, there's one game still in progress, though they are throwing their skip stones. Let's try to go to the standings real quick. In Pool 1, chaos continues as Malloret is 2-2, Collins is 1-2, and there's some teams that have a game to go. The chaos is happening on in the second men's pool, where we have there's not too much chaos. I think we're set here. We have 2 teams at 1 and 2, and 2 teams at 2 and 2. So Blacksher and Pomeroy will advance. And then the last game on the ice, I won't be able to switch the cameras in time, but we have Team Feldman up 9-7 over Team Connolly, and Connolly would need to steal 2 to tie to force the extra. And it looks pretty close. Let me load up the camera and see if we can get there. I'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of time. It looks like Feldman was able to secure the win. 7-9, 9-7 winners over Team Connolly. Team Connolly is undefeated no more. So that's going to wrap up our coverage in a very loud, warm room. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Hopefully you'll join us at our next game, which is going to be set for 7:30, I believe. 6:30. Okay, so MoPac After Dark is set for 8 p.m. tonight, Mountain Standard, also Pacific time. So 8 p.m. We hope to see you then. And until next time, this is your host Ryan Olson saying, on behalf of all of us here at MoPac, Coyotes Curling, and with thanks to our sponsors, so long, good curling, and we'll see you tonight at 8.